What's up guys, my name's Liam and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Attack Shark R11 Ultra. This is coming in around 49 grams, is made out of a carbon composite material. They've been doing a really solid job with the releases in recent times. So did they do a good job with this mouse? In this video I'll be explaining to you how my experience has been with this so far, how it stacks up versus some of the competition, and hopefully by the end of this video I'll be able to help you decide whether or not this could possibly be the perfect gaming mouse for you. So let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know that this was sent out to me. However, everything you'll be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside of the box, it does come with some documentation, what appears to be some stickers. It also does come with these grips. These grips do feel like they're rubberized, but there is no texture on here. So I'm not sure how well those would hold up in time once I do lose the grippiness to them. This does have some, to come with an extra set of skates, and also a USB-C to USB type A cable. All right, so here we got a look of the mouse itself. We'll start over here on the bottom layout. The functions on here, you do have your on-off button over here. I'll leave it in the middle to turn it off. 2.4 gigahertz receiver at the top, and this does have Bluetooth functionality if you move it down to the bottom position. Also, this does have a DPI button over here on the right hand side. A couple things I want to point out while looking at the bottom of this is you can see the sensor positioning on this. This is a forward positioned sensor, so it is a little further forward on it. And the skate design on this is all right. I do feel like it's kind of basic over here with this bottom skate. At least they are a little bit on the larger end, so you do have real estate to fit other types of skates on here. This did come with an extra set of skates. I did just point out it is these exact same black PTFE skates. Honestly, a little bit disappointing. Their previous mouse I just reviewed on my channel did come with really good skates, so I do probably plan on swapping these out, as these are a little bit on the slower end. I would say these are faster than some of the other black skates that I've used recently. However, they do give you just a little bit more of a higher static friction and dynamic. When it does come to the shell integrity on this mouse, everything has been feeling pretty good for the most part. If I squeeze like really hard in this area right here, I do notice just a little bit of movement, but it's nothing that I've been noticing so far in game, so I'll have to watch out for that spot. But so far I'm not getting any type of noticeable creaking or anything like that as I have been using this. When it does come to the coating on this mouse, this definitely does have a different and unique coating from anything that I've used before in the past. This does have a micro texture on top of this mouse. So when you were to move your fingers up and down, actually anywhere, even on mouse 1 and 2, you do notice a little bit of that texture there. And I'll be honest with you, it definitely has a bit of a weirder feeling. When I play this in game, I guess I do notice a little bit when I do slide my fingers around up and down on mouse 1 and 2. Honestly, I would prefer just like a more grippy, smoother feeling of a coating. But for me, this can give you some, I guess, some additional type of grip. Again, I don't really get very sweaty hands myself. I do imagine that with this, with the way that this texture is, you probably would get a little bit more slippery if you did struggle with having sweaty hands. When it does come to mouse 1 and 2, this is using the Omron opticals in this mouse. I do want to say that I have been talking to David Sutton, Gen 3D Tech. He has this same mouse, and he was telling me the clicks in his mouse didn't feel as good. I found that to be kind of surprising, and I'm not sure if there's just some type of variance there in the build, which there generally can be, but luckily on my mouse, this thing has just been mint for me. And as a matter of fact, this has been some of the best clicks I've actually felt in a while, and I would say the clicks on my copy, I must have really scored just a golden copy here, because they honestly feel just like absolutely mint. You get a like no pre or post travel clicking here in the middle. These clicks are done so well that even if I were to press up here at the very end, like you don't even get any pre, it just goes straight into a click. So clicking all the way from front to back, pretty lightweight, does get a little bit noticeably heavy up here at the top, but I get like no play left to right on mouse 1 or 2. I mean, even 2 has the exact same feeling as mouse 1. So on my unit, the clicks on this copy just feel spot on. For the scroll, I say the steps on this a little bit on the lighter end. Not too small, but they're definitely there on the smaller end of the spectrum. The center scroll click, actually pretty easy to spam. So the scroll on this does feel all right. For the side buttons, this does have those pointier side buttons, which I'm not really that much a fan of. I do prefer flatter side buttons. I feel like that's one thing that Tens did really solid when he made his mouse, or even like the side buttons on the Maya X. But truly the build quality on these side buttons, even spot on for me. You don't get a whole lot of noticeable play, even clicking back here from the rear. In the center, there's like no post travel on this. There's just a little bit, but they don't push like too far into the shell or anything like that. No noticeable teetering. Same thing up here on the front side button. In fact, the front side button even feels a little bit tighter. So everything about the click experience while using this, for me, has just really felt spot on. Let's go ahead and drop the click quality sound test. All right, so when it does come to the weight and balance, I didn't see a whole lot of talk about the battery that's in here. To be honest with you, this kind of feels like this is moving towards a trend of all the other budget type mice using a 500 milliamp hour battery, just because it feels like it is rear heavy. As I've been using it, left to right, doesn't feel like it is too bad though. So with the stock skates on this out of the box, it looks like we got it coming in at approximately 50.5 grams. You can access the settings of this mouse through their web-based driver. This looks similar to other types of the firmware that I've seen in the previous mice before. So here's just a really quick overview of the settings that I've been using while I've been testing out this mouse. And when it does come to the performance, honestly, everything on this mouse has been feeling really great as I've been using it in game. Just so you know, this does have the Omron opticals in it. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring you any type of click latency results for this mouse. However, knowing the type of firmware they've been using in the past, the performance on this really is great. All right, so now when it comes to the shape, I'm just gonna be completely honest and straightforward with you guys here. This is basically just a Harpe Ace clone. The original Harpe Ace, not the Harpe Ace 2. And I still haven't got my hands on the Harpe Ace 2. I actually really wanna get a review out there for you guys on that because it does have a different shape and the shape on it does look like it is really good. But throwing it up, let's go ahead and just compare it here to the Harpe Ace Extreme. So again, everything about the shape, they really do feel similar in the hands next to each other. The one thing is that this Attack Shark R11 Ultra does feel like it is slightly a little bit smaller than just the original Harpe Ace or even the Harpe Ace Extreme. You can see the curve profile and these look very similar to one another. The curve profile going from the top down to the side. So you're going to get that like almost like rear hump feeling as you're using this mouse. And the one thing I do want to say, excuse me, I'm sorry, I probably should have mentioned this before I did this, but using this in the hands, even though this is a little bit of a smaller mouse, since this does have that rear hump and it does have a forward place sensor, honestly, the positioning of the sensor with how kind of far back my hands sit on this mouse did feel a little bit unique. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. But here's a look. You can see they did actually space out these side buttons over here on the Attack Shark. A look on the front to the back curve profile, and I'll just show you here really quick. As you can see, this does have more of a forward sensor compared to this one that does have more of a rear facing sensor. And for the shape and length of this mouse with the rear hump, I do kind of like having the lower sensor. It just feels a little bit natural for me. But let's go and drop the shape comparison between both of these. All right, and then last but not least, since it is smaller, I will put it up against the Harpe Ace Mini. The Harpe Ace Mini does feel noticeably smaller. I would say that the scale and size of this as you're holding it in hands does feel closer, in my opinion, to the original Harpe Ace. But here's just a look of the length on the bottom, curve profile. The R11 does feel wider than the Harpe Ace Mini. Curve profile, top down to the sides. And here's a look of them with the curve profile going from the front to the back. Alright guys, so that about wraps things up on the R11 Ultra. I'd say all around that this mouse has been pretty good. There's been just a couple things that hasn't really worked out for me or would work out with me moving forward on this mouse that I did want to let you guys know about. As I've already mentioned, the forward placing sensor and just the kind of texture feeling on this mouse. I also do kind of wish it did come with better skates. But aside from that, gaming on this mouse really hasn't been that bad. And like I said, they really killed it with these clicks. Like just the clicks on this feel so addicting. One of my favorite things about using this mouse while I was testing it out. So I do feel like had this had a little bit of the smoother texture and the sensor positioning wasn't moved down on it a little bit more, I would have enjoyed using this mouse just a little bit more. But if you guys do have any additional questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.